TownHall Heroes. Hello everyone and welcome to TownHall Heroes episode number 139 2.0. My name is Solid Jake. I'm here with Dunk Train and Bakery for TownHall Heroes Heroes of the Storm 2.0 discussion, as it has just gone into open beta today. We'll be going through the big progression changes, the balance updates, and of course, how we think that could impact esports in the end. Dunk Train, we actually just did this, but deja vu, man. Yeah.
So, this is the first time today that I'm going to be giving an introduction to myself on a podcast. And so we just got back from the summit yesterday. I had a really easy time traveling there because, of course, Southern California is super close to Las Vegas. Summit was a blast. Got to hang out with a lot of cool people, meet some community members I've never actually met in real life before, talk to them. So I had a ton of fun and got to see a bunch of sweet new content. So I'm happy. How about you?
Dude, I'm a happy nerd, but Mr. Bakery, he was left in the shadows. He was waiting for this news that the summit was bringing, and has it lived up to your expectations?
I think it definitely quite far surpassed my expectations, actually. I wasn't really expecting too much, to be honest. I was expecting, maybe a new battleground, maybe 2 new heroes, but it's actually kind of insane how big this update is.
It really is, and there's a lot to talk about. Now, for those of you that might be listening to like the VOD or the MP3 that are really confused as to while we're making fun of this being 2.0 of the show, we attempted to do a show just a few moments ago, and my computer literally caught on fire. Well, not literally, but metaphorically caught on fire. I'm going to launch Heroes 2.0 now, and we'll see if the deja vu is true, because XSplit and
cross
Heroes...
your fingers and toes in the stream, boys. If you're watching live, give us your energy. Jake's PC needs it.
Okay, let me just make sure there's no extra programs open. I'm gonna slaughter we'll kill that thing.
You gotta selective boot up. I want nothing open. Just let me stream and run the game.
Here we go. I'm so scared.
Yeah, same.
I'm afraid to touch anything. The game's loading.
I want you to show us the game loading, but I know if you touch anything right now, it'll break and the world will be over. That looks like a loading screen.
I think we're clean. I think we're... Oh, Carissa's going to be real loud. Get ready. Prepare your earlobes.
Mute the headsets.
Her name is Cassia, but I call her Carissa, and I'll never stop calling her Carissa because I'm stupid.
It doesn't even make sense.
I keep thinking people are making typos when they type it out. I'm like, it's new here. Right.
And I say Carissa explains it all. That's my favorite. So let's just jump right back into the progression that we were talking about before we stepped away. We'll talk about the overall summary page in a moment, but basically the way the game works is it's now loot boxes. You have the ability to unlock every single item in the game. There's no longer paywalled cosmetics whatsoever. All items are unlocked via loot boxes or the currencies that are earned from loot boxes.
Did they confirm for sure that nothing would be exclusive to one or the other?
I
think I'm not certain, but
okay. So the way it works is that heroes are locked to gems and gold, and cosmetics like skins
shards
and banners and stuff are locked to shards. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything that you can spend both on. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. But gold can reroll the loot boxes, so.
Mm-hmm. Which is super fun. I actually spent 20,000 gold just re-rolling loot boxes today when I did it on stream. But So yeah, the progression is like every level you're going to get a loot box. Every 5 levels, that loot box will be a rare one. Every 25 levels, you're actually going to get an epic quality loot box. And the quality of the loot box just determines how likely it is you get a good item. For example, I think out of all of my epic loot boxes that I re-rolled, I got at least an epic or a legendary. They might even be guaranteed epics, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% certain.
I don't think so. Not on rerolls, because I did it like. Because the price goes up each time, I think mathematically it's going to end up being always worth it to reroll your first one if it doesn't have like an epic or a legendary, for example. But I don't think I got a epic every time. You definitely get rares almost every box though on rerolls.
Yeah, which is nice. But yeah, it's a nice little process. We're not going to talk about this too much, but it's definitely a good evolution. But I think what we can talk about before we get to the collection, which is what makes all of this progression worthwhile, is these frames. I think they don't really. I don't know if they feel like they just kind of feel cool. But like having green for like 100 and 200, maybe it's blue or whatever it is.
I think you get more gems along the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So I think like 1 to 500, whatever will be the green, and then we get like various gems. And then once you hit like 600 or something like that, then you turn blue and you get like a blue gem and so on. Very similar to the Overwatch one, I think.
Let's see if I can actually find an image. Nah, it's in the video. We could pull that up in a bit. But yeah, I mean it's cool regardless though. It's a nice little addition. And I guess like some of the other nice little things we can look at here just in terms of UI before we get into the collection is your MVP awards, your daily quest completed. All these things are tracked like awards and rewards on your profile. Mm-hmm. Shows 3 heroes, shows your breakdown. It's just a prettier looking profile page. And match history also has a slight upgrade where you no longer have to hover to see. You can click on the match you played and see the composition on the side. You can see my amazing track record around the time Valir came out. Went really good. I think I won not a full screen of red. That's no matter which way I go.
Narrowly escaped the shame of a full red screen.
And then statistics.
Living life on the edge.
This is huge. Having the stats.
Oh, this is interesting. This is a lot more information than we have on live. I hadn't even seen this before.
A full statistical breakdown, your win rate by role. So if Jake's not on support, you're probably losing your game. You're actually statistically more likely to lose your game unless you give me support. So that's just something that anyone that queues with me should know. And games by role. I've mostly played Assassins, so I guess my win rate on PTR is really bad. Sick.
Must be.
But
that's neat. I hadn't seen the stats screen before.
Yeah, it's really well done. But let's jump into the actual collection. And since every skin and every tint is an item, there's a ton. I mean, just looking at the heroes, the breakdown, it's a little weird that multi-class is just variant. I hope this changes. But Bakery, have you looked through all the skins?
Yeah, every single one.
Favorite new skin?
Me and Kalaris spent a good while today going down the list, checking like, oh wow, was that hero live? I don't know. Let's check. Yeah, super, super cool. Favorite new one? Oh, there's so many. Maybe one of the neon ones. And well, okay, actually, it's De La Mortanis is my favorite.
Oh, the classic tint or this one?
Yeah. The role playing Legacy of the Void Artanis.
Yeah, with the Zeratul arm, but he's covered in Zerg goo. He's got a couple tints of it too.
I didn't even notice the second color arm on that skin when I was going through PTR.
Oh yeah, that's Zeratul's gauntlet.
That's neat. Yeah, I know.
So
that's cool.
It's spoilers. Yeah, super cool. They've added some other just like new tints to existing skins. Like I think this is new.
Yeah, for sure. There's a Bakery mentioned the neon ones. And has a really neat coloration for his cyborg skin that he didn't have before, called Neon Cyberak. So like this is definitely an upside of uncoupling the skin system from the tint system is now you can have more than 3 tints for skins that deserve it. Like this is a color scheme that is really cool.
I did not
but
look at it. I didn't watch
before.
the animation. The animation makes it fire. Holy crap.
No, this skin is sick.
Yeah, the Sergeant Hammer one's really good too. That's the one that I had taken note of. Where is it? Can I just type in neon?
It's in the S's, I would imagine.
Hell yeah. Neon girl. Look, it's like the same style, but like...
She's a beaut, ain't she?
She's a beaut,
I think,
ain't she?
I think this is definitely my favorite thing about the whole new progression system is that, like, now we get just these very minor alterations and they don't need to worry about like releasing it for real money and like proper like advertising and stuff. They can just kind of quietly slip it in for these shards, and it's super minor adjustments, but they make the skins look so much better.
Yeah, this Ranger General skin, the Ghostland Sylvanas.
Or fall before me.
All right, be quiet, Sylvanas. You're noisy.
I mean, really though, everyone knows the only skin that matters is the new Uther skin. Let's be real.
I'm with you.
So furious. So
yeah, dude.
Wow.
That skin is dope. None of the other skins.
I do like the Ghost Tracer a lot, but yeah, Sulfurous Uther is just. This is like a fantasy. Like this is the ultimate paladin fantasy right here.
Yeah, that's sick. Like. Oh man, that skin is so nice.
And again, super minor change.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall,
and
if you
like,
compare
the thing
that,
is, they didn't have to give him 3 tints of it either. Like because every skin before, like you had to have 3 tints to go on the same model base. Like you couldn't give a sulfur on Uther. Like it would look weird. They gave 2 for that one, but like being able to add 4 for models that deserve it, or like only 2 or 1 where things are like should be really special. I think that's nice.
There's so, like God King Leoric is another really good one.
Yeah.
This skin right here, like it's just.
I think the Vrykul one looks better, the next one. But I mean, like this is awesome, but I think the Vrykul one looks super good.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of really satisfying ones, and there's even some things when if we look at the portraits, which that's a whole another story. There's so many cool portraits going back to, like some of these Warcraft box arts, like you've got the classic War 3, like that's so good. But they also you can kind of like figure like these remastered. You look at them, it's like okay, that's a skin, that's a skin, that's a skin. That's a skin. What is this Shadowblade Lily? I don't think it's in the game.
No, it is. It is.
No,
It's
it
on CTR.
is.
Yeah, it wasn't on the. It wasn't at the summit, but it's actually in here.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty sick.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, that's just so good. So many cool skins. Oh wow, a lot of these. If you type in Shadow, there's a lot of. I think the Kerrigan one's new. Oh, what about the Wolverine Monk?
It's called like Berserker or something, I think.
Yeah, Berserker. And there's old Berserker as well.
Yeah.
That guy's seen some stuff, man.
That's so funny.
So cool. So cool. Well, yeah, obviously a lot of cool skins, portraits. We were just looking at some of them. Which ones are your favorite? What style? Like, I like the superpower myself.
I think they're just too bright. I like the pen and pencil ones. I think those ones are like super cool.
The sketch?
Like no, not the sketch. The ink? No. Scroll down, I think.
Huh?
It might be the sepia ones look good, but I remember there being some that I really liked. Hold on, let me look.
Well, there's sketch, and then there's ink, and then there's.
I think sepia is cool. Ink, I don't. Ink is okay.
Ink's like my least favorite, but some people love that style. Oh, remastered? These ones? No, I don't know.
No. Sepia, I think looks cool. Like the problem with superpowers, they're just so bright and cartoony. Like I don't feel like it fits. Oh,
that's why I like it. It's like in your face.
Yeah, you would like superpowers, Jake. Gosh.
See the animation here for when you buy something, you get like this firework explosion. Then you own that skin. It's pretty nice. I think like everything they've done about this revamp is there's not really a lot to look for or want, because I look at this and it's like Diablo Legends. Clearly, it's not every Diablo boss. Hearthstone Legends, they don't even have all the Hearthstone portraits in here. Like, there's still some they could add. StarCraft doesn't even have their own section yet. So, like, when it comes to the end game, they're just going to keep adding in content, because when you have so much artwork for a company like like Heroes of the Storm, there's a lot to be desired. Speaking of artwork, emoticons or emojis, whatever they're called, man, they're so good.
Oh my god, you have so many.
Yeah, well, my PTR account, I had like 20. I opened like 36 loot boxes already. So
Nice.
Yeah, I did like, I can't remember how many I had when I logged in. I had like 20 to 30, and then I bought, like, with the 1,000 gems you get, I bought 12 more, and I played 3 games and got another 1,000 gems. So then I bought even more.
Oh, look at the Bloodlust one. It's so good, man. There's the Murkashimi one as well. It's like, it's supposed to be like murky sushi. Where did that one go?
Well, there's a spray in-game Merkshimi.
Yeah, but there's also this
spray section.
Yeah, they got it in both. Yeah, so we can just kind of jump through. So you mentioned sprays. We've got everything from classic artwork from Warcraft, classic StarCraft artwork. Same for Diablo, same for Overwatch. Like, literally sprays directly out of Overwatch. And then stylized, the category that has the most, where it's just custom artwork that are, cute and chibi. I can't remember the guy's name. He does like all of Trixler's like avatars and Trixler stuff on his channel. He actually works at Blizzard now, and this is like just that exact style, and it's like, it's so perfect for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, the sprays are sweet.
Look at this. Look at these ones. Look at the little paper Rhaegar. Oh my god.
Easy.
Dude,
my problem with systems like these is I'm always like, no, I'll get it in a box eventually. I'm not going to craft it. I'll save my crafting stuff. But then, like, what's the point
see
of having
that?
dust?
And I got this paper stitches. Like, it's it's too cute. And my head wig, like, dude, I could go on and on. Then they added the animated ones. You got the cheese, the skull, the unicorn, the Murkashimi one you were talking about. They're like 8-bit, which is just adorable, and emotive, which is, I don't know. It's just there's not really anything more to desire. Moving on to announcers. Bakery, which one do you like?
My favorite is Butcher.
Okay, let me turn sounds on. This is like literally all he can say.
Yeah. I actually uploaded a video earlier, which is just called Fresh Meat, and it's just Butcher. Like,
Basically, I think what Bakery's trying to say, if you use any announcers other than Butcher or Murky, so you're not actually getting callouts, you're a tryhard. I mean, if you can understand your announcer or they provide useful information, you're trying too hard.
you're letting the team down, I think.
So is the only other one you're willing to use Murky?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how is that not insane? You literally can't understand anything he's trying to say.
Like, you almost feel like he's saying actually something relevant, so you like try to like make something out of it, and it's like, nah, he's just making words. Dude, I was so happy about the Rhaegar one, but obviously that's bias. Like, if we do another Bloodlust tournament and I can turn on Rhaegar as the announcer pack that we use for the tournament, if that, like, I don't know if that would actually, would you hear his voices at the start of the game as an observer? I don't think you would. Never mind. Because it doesn't actually replace the map announcer. So the objective announcer is still intact.
Yeah.
So, still though, really fun.
All right, lads and lasses, get ready for one hell of a fight.
What else do we have? We've got the voice lines, which my only complaint is there's no Well Met on Uther. When Uther's rework has a talent called Well Met, so I'm pretty upset about that personally. portraits, emojis. There's just so
You didn't
many.
talk about banners at all.
Oh, yeah, well, I've been holding off on that because I want to expand on that. And yeah, so let's go into There's also a ton of new mounts, I think.
I don't think there's any new models, but I think there are only a few more tints as well. And it's really funny. The first chest I opened, I got the golden, like the golden horse charger thing.
Oh.
The thing that was supposed to be exclusive to the Gold Club. Like if you went there in person,
That's so
first
funny.
chest I opened, I just get that mount. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice. Well, that's cool. I wonder if they're going to keep it so you can get that kind of stuff. Well, banners are a cool implemented thing, and for a long time in the show, banners are something I've actually said I want banners, and I had always envisioned them as like part of the base, or maybe you carry them on your mount. Well, they've implemented them in a really fun way, actually, to the extent where when you capture an objective, destroy a fort, or capture a mercenary camp, you place your banner down, claiming that is your territory, which I think is really cool. And it's the same deal with the other things where, you've got your Warcraft banners, and there's even like leveled up versions. So there's like a puny Horde banner. Then there's a Horde War banner, which is a little bit fancier. And then there's, same thing for like, there's a small totem, then there's a bigger totem, right? There's like evolved versions of banners based on rarity, which is neat. But I think what the common thing is like, all right, when are we getting esports banners? And Bakery's like, yo, I want that Dignitas banner.
I mean, Dignitas Space, Dignitas voice lines, like Dignitas banners, like there's so much potential now. And again, going back to the skin system, like release a Dignitas, like the skin, just put a Dignitas logo on like the bracer of the normal skin, like
Yeah.
that's it. Like
what if Karazim was wearing a Dignitas hoodie? Because you used to be known for Karazim. Like how?
like a bakery like hoodie on like a like wow, like I love it.
And the great part about 2.0 is this is the first time I've ever looked at that item and said yeah, that's a potential. Because with the old system, when you had these tints that were locked into unlocking with that progression system, creating that item did not make sense. With the way the progression system works, with the way that loot is considered an item, every skin is an item, creating that kind of content actually is feasible, it's logical, and to sell a Dignitas loot crate is it's within the realm of possibilities, right? Who's to say that wouldn't work? And as you mentioned, what if you got a bakery voice line, right? Or whatever. There's so many cool things that could be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of time, honestly. Now that all the systems are in place, and the framework is there, yeah, there's just no way. The fact that literally everyone, when you see banners, immediately goes to esports in their head, that's just someplace they have to go.
So if we look at loot boxes and we explore the options for how they could do it, I'm actually just curious what you guys would feel is the more likely route, because just to preface, guys, this is something at the summit that I asked Blizzard about. I was like, hey, are you guys going to do esports banners? Are you guys going to do esports banners? And they're like, it's a cool idea, but they wouldn't commit to actually confirming whether or not they would be doing this. So it's like, yeah, it's a cool idea, and that's it. But when I thought about it more and more, they could do the Team Dignitas loot box route, but then there's loot boxes for theoretically every single HGC team, and then that marketplace looks a little bit chaotic, right?
I don't think you can do that. I think you'd have to do an HGC loot box, right? And just have all of it in there. Well. An HGC collection. There's no way you could have
HGC Europe, HGC.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to turn sounds on so we can go to the loot tab and just listen to the sound. It makes it so cool. Even just that simple animation of pulling up the loot crate. I don't even have one, and I'm like, yeah, whoa, makes me want to buy one. But it's I think like you guys said, making a HGC North America or HGC Europe or maybe overall HGC would be a great way to do it. But at that point, I guess the difference in potential revenue share becomes, if I was to buy a Dignitas loot box, I would be expecting that to directly support Dignitas. Where the opposite is, if I buy an HGC loot box, I expect that to support the HGC prize pool or like, the Midsummer Clash.
Well, I think there is a way of getting around that, which is if you win, let's say the World Championship at BlizzCon, then for a limited time, like let's say a month, maybe 2 weeks, whatever, chuck in that loot box, right? Like let's say the Team Dignitas, because obviously we're going to win BlizzCon, obviously. Like the Team Dignitas loot box, and then you get super cool stuff like a spray potentially, and certain skins which have like the marks on, certain mounts which have the mark on, and then the epic thing would obviously be the Team Dignitas like Nexagon or whatever.
Do you think there would be enough content if they because to fill a loot box and make it compelling, how many items do you think you need? Like you probably need 50 items, right? Like to have enough variants. So, like, I don't know if even for the team that wins, like, championship or whatever, like, that is a lot of content of that one team that you'd have to make.
That's very true.
As opposed to, like, just 10 pieces per team or whatever if you're doing an HGC one,
Yeah, and if you were doing...
Maybe it might be hard.
It would be.
But there's no reason... Like, there's no reason you couldn't release content, like, I guess, temporarily into the generic loot box system, but mostly as a crafting target, if that makes sense. Like, so let's say you have content you want to deploy that's not worthy of it, like its own loot box. You could still just put it into the system and it's in the loot boxes, but then it's something more for people to craft towards. I think that's like an option too.
Like Overwatch restricts certain items from being crafted, which I do think is good when used sparingly.
Items. Yeah,
yeah.
But then like, there's so much RNG to whether you get what you want. Like, I don't know. I don't like that system.
But it's also motivation for you to play the game more during a period of time. So if that's like a limited available item, it's like saying like, oh, I got to log in to play to get my, bunny ear butcher skin where fresh eggs. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it depends on the probability, right? Like, I don't like things that you can't deterministically arrive at, like in terms of these kinds of rewards. Like I can't target farm for a seasonal Uther skin no matter what I do, right? Like if it's just in the box. So it's like frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, like if it's used sparingly, such as like you can buy, let's say the winners like loot crates, but like you can't buy the items individually. And then, obviously, like a seasonal item, so a BlizzCon loot box, for example, which you can only like get those items from the BlizzCon loot boxes that pop up every year. Like, I think there it's fine. Outside of that, I agree. I really dislike it.
I guess the other thing the community seems to dislike, chat's talking about it right now, is the fact that master skins are moving into loot boxes. And... I mean, I guess I get the sentiment where, like, you want to feel you're special because you played this character a lot. I think there's definitely some challenges there, and I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I'm fully on board of agreeing with it because, like, in my opinion, oftentimes master skins don't even feel cooler than the other skins that exist in the game. Before
Most
master
of them look terrible.
Right. Before master skins were the only other item you could earn without paying real money. In the game now, all of these items are unlockable through the game directly. So it's no longer, there's no monetary incentive that makes one exclusive to the next. However, I do still feel that something like an Overwatch Golden Gun equivalent, like you have the option to get a Golden Gun for your Overwatch character, is needed. Does that have to be a master skin? I don't think so. Maybe your character has a glowing aura underneath them or something that shows like you've gotten this character to a certain like level, or maybe that's too disruptive. Maybe they make custom mounts for every hero in the game that are exclusive to like having your hero level 50 or higher. I don't know. There's definitely some ways to do that in a meaningful way, but I don't know that it has to be master skins.
I don't think master skins were ever particularly good
I agree.
Like that job. I mean, Kazim's obviously the hero that like I used to be known for, and I used to play a ton of, and I always used the first tint of the skin that I bought in the bundle before I knew if I liked him or not. So that system never did anything for me. So yeah, I think there definitely should be a way, but it's not like we're losing that. in most cases anyway, because the master skin scat sucks.
For some heroes, they just kind of like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think like overall, it's not necessarily that you used the master skin. It was like just wanting something to show off that you like made this hero or whatever is definitely what people are feeling.
No, I agree, and I think there's probably other ways to do that. And like again, I'm going to use Overwatch as a reference because Overwatch has a very similar system overall. The golden guns didn't exist right away. The difference being with Overwatch is to get golden guns, you have to play competitive, and in Heroes, you literally just had to grind a hero and just be like, I really like this hero. So that's a pretty big difference since overall Overwatch is a much more they're making you play in a competitive environment, and Heroes has a lot of people that only want to play with AI. And I feel if they were to make you have to play Hero League to be able to get the golden gun for Heroes of the Storm, people would rage even harder about that. So like it's tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Palytime said that having high-leveled heroes will give you flashier taunts. That's interesting. Maybe he learned that from an interview with Blizzard. That's information I did not hear myself.
I don't think I've heard that on any announcements either. So yeah, I guess.
But again, I didn't actually ask this question as to how they would reward people that are fans of their hero. As it exists, taunt is not even an option to change in the game, right? You have a scroll wheel when you're playing Heroes of the Storm. You cannot change your taunt. You cannot change your dance. Maybe that's something they'll work on in the future, but that's not a question I asked at the summit.
Yeah, that's really surprising because it's not in the loadout anywhere, and you'd imagine it would be like it is with Overwatch if it was actually a thing you could do, right?
But that's also like an insane amount. Like to make a taunt for Overwatch, they have a fraction of the number of heroes. So to do that for Heroes of the Storm, that's a big undertaking.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if that is true, without it being visible in the loadout anywhere or anything like that. But maybe it's something that's coming. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. But that would definitely be a cool way to do it. So yeah, voice lines, custom taunts, custom dances. Maybe that would be enough because as it exists, well, you really only got voice lines. Rare voice lines could be another cool thing in general because like I don't know if voice lines even have rarity in this game, whereas in Overwatch they're an uncommon thing, but they do have rare voice lines in the system. They just kind of poking through. Yeah, they're all 40, right? I'm pretty sure across the board. Like, who would be a hero that would have a rare voice line that's like sassy? Like maybe Leoric or Ragnaros?
Li Ming should have one, but she doesn't. Like, I don't think there are any different rarity voice lines right now.
Dude, when you type someone's name in, or you type in letters, it takes over. You get a full screen of voice lines. Yeah! Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no rarity on voice lines at all. But that's definitely...
Doesn't seem like it.
It could be a thing. Bakery, do you know the Uther changes? Because we're going to talk about that today.
No, I have no idea.
Okay, good, because we're going to get there. That's just a teaser for soon. Okay, before we leave the cosmetic realm, what's your favorite emoji pack? Bakery first.
Emoji pack?
Yeah, you got to pick a favorite one.
Ooh, I mean, probably the Butcher one or the Lucio one, I'd imagine.
Which Butcher, 1 or 2?
Which is the one where he's got sunglasses?
2.
2.
Okay. I want to look at Lucio just because you said it.
Dude, Diablo has the clean emoji pack because it looks like Diablo pixel art for like Diablo 1 level Diablo quality. Like, that's what that reminds me of, is actual old school Diablo games. So I guess Butcher's like in a similar vein, but I like Diablos.
For me,
Oh, actually, I've just seen the Leoic one on stream. Okay,
Leo's
Leoic's my
really
favorite.
good, especially this one. That
Yeah, pack 2.
the Karazim one's really good too. I actually expected you to say Karazim. I think that's one of my favorites. Li Ming's is really good because she's got this arcane one where she's really, really angry. That's one of my favorites, but I have to go with Rhaegar just because he has Bloodlust. This Sonya one, she is taking one ferocious poo. She is just going, man. Yeah, there's a lot of really good ones. Yeah, this Bloodlust one, it's Bloodlust. I got to do it. Kind of wish there was a Bloodlust like symbol, but maybe someday. All right. So yes, Stream is pointing out Diablo did finally get the Prime Evil Diablo skin, so we can look at that.
You have to show it in try mode too,
Yeah.
because the animation while it runs is so good.
The animations where most of the work went there, surely.
Like,
Wait, you haven't seen it?
it's so creepy.
Baker, you haven't seen it? Is that what you said?
Oh, no, I have seen it.
Oh, okay. Every time you play Diablo, you just need to put "Sweetie Sweetie, I'm coming for that booty" on loop, and you just run towards your targets, and you're good, because that's the way to do it. Shot and I decided that's an essential element of the new skin. But no, they did a really good job with it. I mean, when you make a skin that really kind of feels different like this, since the other Diablo is so hulking, you got to be worried about making sure the hitbox on the hero feels the same. You can see how large this circle is underneath, and I think they did a wonderful job with the back spikes and stuff, making the hero feel correct in terms of its size.
I was just about to say that. Like the animations feel like menacing rather than bulky.
Yeah, it's awesome
as well. Yeah, I think they actually nailed this skin.
Somebody says it has a special dance. I do like special dances.
I'm gonna give you a special dance when I come to Vegas. Slash dance. Oh.
Deece. Imagine how silly regular Diablo would look
Whoa,
doing that, though.
That's a special taunt too. He sharpens his arm blades.
Yeah, for sure. That's different. That's cool.
So scary, man. What a scary hero. So cosmetic overload, that's the whole real point, I feel, of Heroes 2.0. Not point, but one of the big things to drive players in their quest to get cool stuff. Now, with that, they've actually added another big update to their whole package, which is their website has received a bit of an overhaul. And if you go to heroesofthestorm.com and you click on Heroes 2.0, when you scroll down a little bit on the right, they've added this whole section where you can see all the new info, watch all the new videos, and as you scroll, you'll see Welcome to 2.0, new hero Cassia. Then March 30th, details unlock on a Reddit Q&A. Then on April 12th, a hero's timeline is unlocked. I have no idea what that means, but that's cool.
Sounds exciting, either way.
Then on the 17th, we get another new hero. After that, a new battleground will also join that new hero on the 17th. Then there's a launch event on the 18th. Again, what does launch event mean? I
assume that's when 2.0 launches, right?
But there was a tweet that said the 25th, I thought.
Well, there's probably a week event leading up to it, right?
That would make sense. Then there's another Reddit Q&A. Then new bundles will be coming out. Then a new program.
That's the one to me. I don't even know. What does that mean? New program.
Okay, so I'm not sure, what this means exactly, but in the hotkeys, Jake, in Heroes 2.0 right now on PTR, there's a option to change your push-to-talk key. I'm not sure if that was there on live. I'm not sure if that's an accidental inclusion, but since it says new program, I think people are linking those two together?
There's a few ways you could look at it. You could look at it as like literal software. Like it could be like an API. It could be like a push to talk. It could be like that sense, or it could be like a recruit a friend program. That's
I hadn't even thought of
the
that.
other like angle that you could look at it.
That's what I assumed it was when I read program. I was thinking like
Yeah.
Nexus Challenge kind of thing, but
Well,
No, that actually makes more sense. way more
Nexus
sense
Challenge
than
is
what I was
literally already on there. Cinematic is the next thing on the 25th.
I'm actually really excited about another cinematic
Dude,
because
yeah.
we have to play that super old one from like 2014 right now.
I'm like, I cannot wait for a new cinematic. Then Nexus Challenge 2.0. Nexus Challenge, of course, was when they did the Oni Genji thing with Overwatch
Yeah.
tied into Heroes of the Storm. So we're going to do a second one of those. We don't know if that's with Overwatch or World of Warcraft or what. And then event on April 5th. Just
Event.
Or 25th, event. So the 25th is another big day, and that's where this all mostly ends. And then May 4th, another new hero comes out. So having this content tracking timeline is just so great because for players that are just getting into the game or for players that are a little more casual, they have one website they can go to, the official website, to be like, well, I know I need to look at heroes on this date because this thing is happening. I don't know what it is, but sounds cool.
Yeah.
Pretty dope, though. Okay. So we talked about esports implementation into some of the things that exist in the game. We looked at a lot of the cool cosmetics that exist, and I suggest everyone at home dives into that a bit more. I didn't even see the Chrome Ribbit Lucio. That's nice. Is that old?
I think so.
I think so. I think that's the default Rivet Lucio, right?
It's not. I don't think the default is the Chrome one, but I don't play
Ah,
Lucio, so I guess I didn't remember that skin. I guess we can talk about Uther. Or since Uther is technically not in here, just to get over a quicker change that is in the game. We know that ETC did get the trait rework, and
Among some other talent tweaks as well. Yeah.
let me pull up the balance notes just so we have everything. But Bakery, why don't you explain this trait, the change to armor?
So basically tanks have armor. ETC, they tied that to a more interactive mechanic. Still very much a passive one, not particularly skillful, but at least it's you have to actually work to get your armor now, rather than being passive. So I'm kind of a fan of that change. I am sad that they took out his attack speed though, because that was part of using ETC properly, like as a team and also as a player, was utilizing that attack speed, which seemed like a very minor thing, but especially on maps like Battlefield of Eternity, or if you're trying to rush a keep, or even the core, that became super important. And both teams will be playing around that aspect. So again, I'm sad that's gone, but yeah. So they're given 20 armor, take away a proportional amount of health. I think we're quite used to the changes at this point, and then just slide around a few talents as well.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a buff to me, especially after watching ETC played at the summit. He seemed really hard to kill. But as you mentioned, he's you're picking him to be a tank. You're not picking him for that damage, for the attack speed, for the harmonies that exist in that. He's just baseline, really hard to kill. Dunk, any opinions on this?
I'm not sure. Obviously they were concerned about the fact that ETC was a generic tank, even with the attack speed, so they took it away. I mean, I actually kind of like their reasoning in the balance notes right beneath the ETC thing. Their reasoning about, okay, right now ETC is being used as a generic tank, and the problem with the attack speed is it mattered a lot, but I think it's hard to appreciate how much it matters. Just because of the nature of auras and stuff, it's hard to really understand how impactful that attack speed is. So I'm generally all for switching things from, okay, this is upside, but it's hard to tell how much it is, to, okay, this is a more targeted, shorter duration upside. So I think the armor fits better, even though you're losing a little something of, I think, ETC's fantasy when you lose that inspiration aspect,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like a solid change though overall. And the only other thing is they made it so Butcher can announce his meat stacks, which is cool. So those are the official changes that went live into the PTR. ETC, I guess we'll find out where it makes him sit. You know, does it actually affect him? Does it make him stronger? Does it make him weaker? Yeah, to be determined, I suppose. Definitely seems like thematically, I like it. It makes room for a Bard hero, like a Bard support. Since ETC kind of had that going for him, I would, even though Lucio is an Electro Bard, I want like an actual like Bard. I don't know if there's any Bard in like any lore of any of these games though, outside of Lucio.
I don't think so. It's even like a category that Warcraft doesn't really have, despite it theoretically being like high fantasy. It's just really not something.
It would probably be like an orc
really
war drum type thing, maybe like
Yeah,
a Kodo
like-
beast. Kodo, maybe.
I mean,
Warcraft 3?
Bloodlust.
Well, there's Bloodlust, but don't Kodo beasts do like I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we dive into Uther, by the way, are you guys as big of a fan as I am of the like Heroes 2.0 logo?
Oh, I love it.
Like, just replace the old one. Like, this thing looks amazing. Like,
It looks so much sexier. It's vibrant. Even if you like notice like everything about the game, like the background here, this is brighter than it used to be.
they definitely ups like everything. If you make a custom, by the way, it's like super bright as well. I was trying to see if there's any changes to the maps, and like there's so much more flair to like everything you do.
Yeah, I mean the game just used to be really dark and like intimate and everything, and they made it a lot sexier, I think. So yeah, I'm with you on the logo. I think I mentioned this at the top of the show. They stated, like, I asked, I'm like, are you guys going to keep this 2.0 on the login screen and everything for all of time? They're like, we'll probably get rid of the 2.0 eventually, but I think they'll hopefully keep the logo without the 2.0.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Obviously the beta will go away, but
Yeah.
that we know. Okay, so people are asking about like other reworks. The only hero that actually had a rework at the summit was Uther, and they've specifically said in the email what we're allowed to talk about. That is one of the things we can discuss. So also because they have mentioned the rework in the AMA a few weeks ago, and I think I've played Uther more than any other hero at the summit. Like, I think he was just my go-to because Bakery, he's actually a god. Like, he's utterly terrifying, and I don't remember every talent and every bit of detail. But I mean, Dunk and I did play with him a bit, and I think we both liked him a lot. Let me load up Uther in the try mode just for visual aid while we talk about things, even though this is not Uther, as he will exist whenever they push it live.
Yeah. So first things first, he has a real trait now. In addition to his Death Ghost trait, you actually do have a real trait even when you're not a Feed Lord. You just give armor to your allies when you heal them. Right, Jake?
Yep. So his it's 4 seconds of 25% armor, I believe, after a heal has been applied. And that's, when with your W, considering that's AoE and a 12-second cooldown, you cast that and you feel like, oh, God, I can't do anything for 12 seconds with these two 12-second heals. But actually that 4 seconds of armor, if you space out the two, especially on a primary target, ends up being very impactful.
It does not stack between his two heals, by the way, just in case you were nervous. But I think that's a good change. So his trait, I think, is valuable now. But the really compelling changes, I think, are at level 7 because... Well,
let's finish the basic ability changes. Is his Q now self-cast as well? Yeah. So when you cast your Q on an ally, it's like Tyrande, where you get a 50% cast. The more meaningful part of this is that means you're getting armor as well. So it allows for Uther to be that battle support up in the front. You throw your heal on whoever needs it, but you're also getting that 4 seconds of armor. So you being in the front line is like almost expected. You're a hard target to kill. And you're rewarded for that as a result. But let's just start with the talent tiers at level 1. We'll get to 7 because I know 7's where it gets really spicy. With
7's where it's exciting.
So one is just 3 questing talents, one for each of his basic abilities. I don't remember the exact use of each, but I think he has no conjurers. But the W build does have mana retention.
Yeah, so the W build gives you mana regen on targets hit, I believe, and then once you've hit a certain number of targets with W, it adds an extra effect. Q is like a 3-part quest, like Varian's High King's quest, where one is to heal allies under 50% health, one is to heal a certain amount with Holy Light, and one is to heal...
It's to mitigate damage with armor.
It's to mitigate damage with the armor bonus from Holy Light a certain number of times. Yeah. And when you accomplish those, you get reduced mana cost on Q. Like his Q mana cost, I think it's like 10 each, and then an additional 10 or 20 when you complete it. And these are all like old numbers, by the way, so nothing is like locked in, but the gist of it is the same. Like the Q quest dramatically reduces the mana cost, and I forget what the other effect was.
It might have been like a couple seconds
Q,
off
but it was
or
supposed to be
something.
something else.
I think it might have been a couple seconds off the cooldown.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't even
the last talent was like
Yeah.
auto attacks to buff your stun or something. I don't remember. I never took that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're a healer. You don't get to take talents that improve your damage abilities.
Well, level 4 is all damage abilities, right? It's like Holy Smite,
Yeah.
Holy Fire, and movement speed
Holy
after
Shock.
E or something.
Yeah, well, is that the one that's 4? Anyway, like at 4, I know for sure there's the Holy Shock got moved to 4.
Yeah, Holy Shock at 4.
And then the Holy Fire, which is his Burning Rage variant, is also at 4.
So he gets Lane Clear if you need it.
Do you know if they like nerf the numbers on that?
I don't.
Because like that's like if you stack it up, it works out something like 3 times better than Burning Rage. It's so much damage if you can take that talent.
Yeah, I didn't like examine the numbers, to be honest, because I was playing with the Q talent, Holy Shock, because of a level 7 talent and some synergy there that I want to talk about. But yeah, so 4 is all your offensive options, really. And then at 7, for the meme build first, there's a new talent that gave you a lot faster cooldown on your Holy Light when Uther gets stunned. And Horse Pants, in the 5v5s that were happening at the event, was dumpstering everyone with new Uther because he just picked all the Q talents, and then he would basically just like walk up and like get stunned by the tank and use the CDR from getting stunned to just spam Holy Shock someone. And not only is the Holy Shock doing damage, but it's also healing Uther.
Dude.
And when you Holy Shock, the cooldown is lower. So he's like he got stunned, he'd walk up, Holy Shock someone, Armurden would stun him, and then he would just like Holy Shock our Squishy like 5 times in the next 10 seconds and just solo anybody. It was so dumb because you couldn't kill him.
He was a nuke. He was a nuke beast.
Yeah, it was insane. Horsepants was dominating everyone with that build on the like play tests we were having on the new thing. So that was really funny. But for competitive, there's some interesting talents at level 7. So Uther has an Uther specific cleanse.
Hand of Freedom.
Where Hand of Freedom, the base cooldown is 90 seconds. Mm-hmm. It does the same effect as a cleanse, but it has a battle momentum built into it to where every auto attack he does reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds.
6 autos, and it's a normal cleanse. And Uther auto attacks, I mean, they're not that slow. Like, you do 6 of them, it's down to 60 seconds. You do 9 of them, it's down to...
Against heroes specifically, is this?
I don't think so.
It's not against
anything.
It's against anything, yes.
Okay,
so, like, in theory, you could cleanse... Like, I think it was like you could cleanse every 13 seconds or something if you just got to stand there and auto. Like, that's not realistic, obviously, but it's still an interesting concept where they, like, it's a cleanse that has, like, an upside and a downside, so I actually like them branching out a little bit there. And then there's another talent on level 7 that is actually pretty competitive, I think. Uther's armor bonus from his trait is increased to, I think it was 60 on the build we were playing.
And again, it's not physical, it's not spell armor, it's armor.
Yeah, it's total armor. When you use it on an ally who is stunned, rooted, or silenced. So basically, like, if instead of taking cleanse, you can take 60 armor anytime you heal an ally.
It's the ultimate anti-wombo as long as you don't get caught in it, right? Because you could cast the W, you could give 60 armor to 4 allies for 4 seconds, and yourself. It's possible. Not a common scenario, but even the single target, like the Illidan that dives in, that needs the heal and he gets stunned. Oh, here's 60 armor for 4 seconds, bro. Have fun.
I mean, 60 armor is like an insane amount. So
I
don't know.
think that's literally what they have to do to make anything competitive with the cleanse. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad they finally like worked out a way to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like
I'm super happy.
Yeah, that talent tier is nice because like it gives you an indication that they finally get the sense that like, okay, cleanse is at 7, but supports need that. So like if you want to put another talent at 7, it has to be something that rivals cleanse if the hero has cleanse, or else they're just going to be forced into taking it. So I actually am really happy with the way that worked out.
I mean, even the third talent we talked about, the 6-second reduction on Holy Light, like if you're stunned, that's still pretty interesting because like, you know, they're punished from stunning the healer or CC on the healer. They get punished for it. Is it going to be as good as the other two? No.
Definitely not for competitive,
Right.
but it's going to be.
Well, if there's a Johanna.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Because you still have Divine Shield, right? So, like, it's just, you know, suddenly Battle Uther, maybe you can be super ham on him, and who knows? Who knows? I just like the potential for it, for sure.
I don't remember all the 13 talents. I remember there's one that reduced the damage output and movement speed of a target when you used Judgment on them. And I don't remember the other ones. That wasn't the one I ended up taking those, but I don't remember what I ended up taking the times I was playing Uther.
Dude, it's all about well met. There's a 13 talent called well met. It's damage amp and 25% movement speed slow. So it's 25% damage received and slow on his E.
I thought that was like a shrink rate, not like a
No,
mark.
that's on his E. It's called well met.
Yeah.
You cast E and they get 25% slow and 25% additional damage taken.
I read it as they do 25% less damage, but maybe I read it wrong.
No, it's like a mark.
Okay.
You just well met.
Okay.
You go well
If
met
it's
and you blow
mark,
him up.
If it's mark, it's way better than
Yeah, it's so good, man.
less damage output. Yeah. And then at level 16, he still has Benediction.
Yep.
Yeah.
So imagine Benediction with that. If you stun me and I have Holy Shock, like you could just Q. Like 3 Qs would like kill Vala if you farm it with the level 1 talent. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's really strong.
Yeah.
I love Nuther. Nuther is like, he's my boy.
What are the level 20s? Or are we still doing tier by tier?
I'll be honest with you, I don't. I just took Redemption. I don't remember exactly.
I don't think he had anything. Ooh, man, I didn't get to 20 in my game. I thought I skimmed for new stuff, but I don't remember anything. So either they're the same or they were close enough that I didn't notice on first read through, you know?
Okay.
In the like 2 minutes I had or whatever before the game started.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know the exact thing. I assume they'll add them during the open beta.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I hope so. People are asking about new Tyrande. That's actually not anything we got to see. Like, if that's a thing that's happening, it wasn't in this patch. I wish it was.
Tyrande is perfectly viable though. So.
I agree. So I have no idea. Uther was the only rework that was in the patch.
Mm-hmm.
We even
Are people also asking about Oriel?
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Honestly. But I didn't even think to look. No one talked about Ariel.
No, I remember looking at Ariel, but I don't think there was anything different about her kit.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the funny thing is, like, you'd talk to Blizzard people and like they'd honestly be like wary of speaking because they're like, the build we were playing on is different than the build that we have here today. And like, they're like, we have no idea what build you're playing right now and what build you're getting. So like, we're just gonna kind of be like, whatever you see is there. Like, yay, have fun. Like, and you can't blame them. They're being smart about it. So Uther was the only one, and I think he's gonna challenge Malfurion.
I mean, Malfurion keeps getting like very minor nerfs over time. So by the time we get Uther, Malfurion might be faster again.
There can only be one of them good at any time. You can't have both good.
I mean, they're literally opposites, right?
Yeah.
So
Like,
it's hard to have both of them good.
Well, I guess we shall see. Now, obviously, there's we saw the timeline. There's like some other cool stuff coming soon, and it's gonna be fun to see when that actually rolls out to talk about that. But that's not something we're talking about today. I don't know if there's anything else we need to hit though, because we talked about loot collection, the way all that works, how it could evolve esports. I don't really. I'm a little disappointed, by the lack of in-game viewing. I think that's one thing I'm really greedy for esports, tools. And when you call a game 2.0, I'm like, okay, yeah, do we got new reconnect? Do we have in-game spectating? And I have no idea if there's any advancements on that front, or if that'll ever be a thing. But I think that's my only one thing that I'm like, I wish it was there. So
the way that I see that is like Heroes wasn't doing its job, I think. So the thing that I said in my video that just released on my YouTube, you can check it out. It's youtube.com/the-newer-bakery. And I'm sure I'll find a better way to plug that at the end of the show. But is what I was saying is Heroes never felt like Heroes. It didn't feel like you were playing with Blizzard Heroes. It didn't really feel like you were playing against them. There's a real lack of just that stable base to make Heroes a good game. So now that we have that, now that the game has actually launched, this is it. This is the game it was supposed to be. Now we can get those new features. Those things are gonna come definitely.
The other way
I know they're in the pipeline.
Yeah, the other way to put it is Heroes felt like it didn't have a soul. It was just kind of like a shell.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't feel like it had that heart, the fun quirkiness. And this, I mean, that's changed with 2.0. Heroes feels like it has its own entity rather than oh cool, we have this Overwatch thing, or cool, we have this Warcraft thing. It's no, we have our celebration of those games. And a lot of that fun stuff is achieved. I feel it's by the sprays, just having this fun artwork of these other games. It's when you're able to implement really silly Diablo and Warcraft stuff, and when those games typically tend to have a more serious environment for some characters. That's when Heroes really shines, in my opinion. Dunkus, what is your biggest I want this next? We're so greedy. We get all this awesome stuff, and we're yeah, but I want this.
What do I want next is in-game voice chat. What I really want is in-game voice chat that goes to your allies and your enemies, but what I'll settle for is in-game voice chat to your allies.
So when you kill someone, you can go, I pooped on you.
I mean, as much as some experiences are ruined by being able to trash talk, there's just, for people who really like competitive endeavors, I feel like there's just something missing not being able to trash talk your opponents at all. Even if I could get back to GG at the end of games, I would like that. Just something, But
I do actually want all chat.
All chat would be nice.
I love all chat.
All chat would be nice.
Yeah.
At least for Hero League, yeah.
Hero League only, even if we put it only at the end of the game or something, but just all chat, come on, that's fun for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this
right. But really voice between your team is something that the game absolutely needs, and it's gonna be amazing.
So I actually played a bit of Overwatch in my break after Katowice. So in 1 week, I went from gold, about 2,100, to diamond, about 3,100. And so I got a good gauge of that elo range, basically, while I was playing. And voice chat was so huge for me, because people could actually tell me what I was doing wrong, just in my games. And then I could tell other people what they're doing wrong, and then we could work together as a team. It felt like a cohesive experience. And after playing like so much Overwatch, like I actually think is a huge thing missing from Heroes.
Well, when you don't have voice chat, I feel like it's way too easy to not realize that the other people in the game with you are actual human beings. Like, when it's just a hero loads into your game and there's text, like, that is not a human being mentally. When you hear a voice, it's a human being. Like, yeah, there's some toxicity that happens, but you can mute people as a response. And overall, I think it actually improves the community a lot of the times to have voice chat because you're talking to humans, not to, like, units in your game.
I mean, I only talk to my units. Yo, good job, little mage minion. You dropped that globe and they didn't get it. Well done.
Like, just to clarify something, like, it's true, not everyone's working together, not everyone's giving constructive feedback. But the point is that you have the opportunity, and if you play 5 games, and in 2 of them, your team worked together, and in 1 of them, someone took the time to actually work with you and tell you what you were doing wrong and what you were doing right, then that changes everything.
It makes us all better human beings, man. Better esports players.
Not all of us. Not all of us. I'm not going to go that far.
Some of us. Yeah, well,
I think.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as long as the system as long as you can just mute someone super easily, I think the system is always worth it. If you can't mute someone easily, then it's a problem, obviously.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch things evolve, grow. I'm very hopeful that they'll incorporate esports into the store. I have already tried typing in esports on the mount section since we have esports mounts, and you get nothing, and it makes me cry every time. But maybe we'll get there. I think we've talked a lot about that. And the other big thing is to use StarCraft 2 as an example. StarCraft 2, I will actually load it up for reference here because...
Oh, careful with the computer there, Jake.
It's been good since we restarted. I just think my computer needed a good kick in the butt. Oh, by the way, StarCraft Remastered, Craigasm. But... yeah, one moment here while I load into Star 2. Because they have a very similar... I mean, it's very obvious that the design intent behind this is streamlined with what they did for StarCraft 2. Why won't it let me log in?
So, just while you're logging in, it's weird how many things that we spoke about when I was on the show at some point, like before, I've actually come back up, this week. So obviously we had that discussion about StarCraft Remastered and how they would have to do it, exactly the same.
That's true.
Still with sprites, just update the sprites. And, okay, that's what happened, new menus. And it's cross-compatible with the original game as well.
Which is insane.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And then there was something else as well, which was last week we were talking about... Or not 2 weeks ago, we were talking about something. And it was really relevant earlier as well. But, yeah, anyway. Game's loaded.
The game's loaded. So StarCraft, you've got your campaign, which obviously Heroes doesn't have, and then co-op multiplayer arcade, which is, again, we also don't have, but they have collection. And it's when you consider just play, collection, and watch, that's what we have in Heroes. And their collection is very similar. They have skins, and they just started adding new skins to the game, actually. What is it? The Hellion has a skin. This is the first time they've actually added skins in maybe years. I'm not even joking, which is pretty cool. But anyways, announcers, very similar to Heroes, but they have a community announcer, Total Biscuit, very famous YouTuber, very famous in the StarCraft scene, been creating events and content for a long time, and...
Upgrade complete.
You can listen to him say upgrade complete when your stim pack is downloaded for your units. And again, a lot of these are similar to what we have in Heroes because we share Heroes in the games. Additionally, emotes. They have done Carbot emote packs. They've had emotes in their game for a little while now. And Carbot is a non-Blizzard game. It's or organization. It's an individual YouTube channel that makes amazing content, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw Carbot emote packs released in Heroes of the Storm, since he makes so many good ones as well. So this is all streamlined with this. It's the same engine, right? So it makes sense that we got the same treatment. But I think
fun fact: it's not the same engine.
Well, it's the same.
There was a point about, I don't know when, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half ago, where they officially like split the engines, and then apparently at this point it's actually super hard to port features.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know it was that different. I'll take your word on it, but yeah, look at these, the Carbot. I want these
soon, TM.
But yeah, I mean, I guess what I was just getting at was like, if they do, like, I think they announced something earlier this year pertaining to a compendium for StarCraft. StarCraft 2 WCS
really?
compendium. I could be crazy. I could be crazy. Maybe not. Maybe that was just like a good dream I had.
Must have been a really good dream.
Oh, it's a good one, man. WCS StarCraft 2017. It's weird that when you Google that, the first 3 results are Liquipedia, and the 4th result is actually the official website. That must have been wishful thinking, because I thought I had saw something on that. Yeah, well, not much else to say. Just this 2.0 should be really fun to watch it evolve. I'm still digging, by the way, so don't talk about tacos.
Oh, Heroes of the Storm.
You could talk about Heroes of the Storm.
Tacos of the Storm, go.
I don't know. Overall something we didn't touch on, but the rebranding itself of the 2.0, I think, is going to be really important for the game. Like, the game came out really early in development, and I think putting such a big emphasis on like the 2.0, reworking kind of the visual of the icon and stuff and the logo, I think that's actually going to be a really important part of the push, along with HGC, to like get more people in, and especially people who maybe tried the game during early alpha, like way back in the day. The game is very different now, and a much better, more complete game. So we didn't mention it here, but 2.0 as a like marketing and directional shift to kind of get rid of some of the old feelings people had about Heroes maybe when they tried it before. Like, I think that's a huge plus.
Absolutely. So I had some real life friends, right? So I spoke to them quite a bit before I started playing Heroes. When I did start playing Heroes, I just kind of like completely fell out of touch with them. And so they saw me playing Heroes, and they watched the tournaments and stuff, and they tried playing it themselves, and they hated the game. So I recently spoke to them again, very recently, within the past month. And they actually play Heroes now, and they have been for the past 3 months, because they said, let's give it another try. And they were all like, wow, like, this is a completely different game. I'm actually enjoying myself now. And I see a lot of anecdotal stories like that as well. So I really do think that for most people that maybe tried Heroes at the start and then obviously it wasn't doing it for them, or never got around to trying it, this whole 2.0 push is going to be huge.
I would agree. I think it's like absolutely just essential to just get the word out there again for people like that hadn't played the game in a long time. And again, especially as like a lot of players, they just need that drive of cosmetics too. Like, there's a massive quantity of players that will just commit so much further because they know they can get dope skins and unlock heroes just from loot boxes. Like, imagine if you don't want to buy heroes, but you just play, you log in, and you discover that Artanis is your favorite hero, and because you got him from a loot box, you earn him. It's like legendary hero. I think he's classified as legendary. Some heroes are classified as legendary when you get them.
Wait, they're not all classified as legendary?
No, like Tassadar is like rare or something. Like there's different rarities. So you could get a rare, and it could end up being a hero you don't own, which is actually like really fun. But like the newer heroes will probably have, their cost will probably determine their classification based on rarity, I would imagine. But I think that's really exciting that there's going to be a lot of people that experience that. And hold on, so it's called the StarCraft 2 War Chest, I think. No, I'm digging, but I know this is a thing. I know I'm not crazy.
Sure.
Okay, Jake.
Sure.
Okay.
Jake is trying so hard right now to prove
I literally found
that he's not insane.
I've literally found videos talking about how it will fund esports from like Yahoo Esports, but I can't find the official page for the StarCraft2.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be pretty fun to see what kind of a impact this will have on those kind of players that are not necessarily touching the game right now. Like there's a lot of people I'm sure that have played Heroes and like stepped away from it. Even like when Overwatch came out, like maybe a lot of people just went over and played Overwatch. Now they've been introduced and fallen in love with this whole loot system, and they come back in and they realize how much they love Heroes and how great it is. Yeah, someone linked it. What a god.
Miwa.
Wait, it is just a forum. Oh, was it Miwa?
Miwa with the save.
This isn't the official.
We're introducing a new way to support the StarCraft 2 esports while also giving access to all new in-game goodies. We call it the War Chest. It is in the thing Miwa linked.
Yeah.
If you scroll down just
I
a
thought there
little
was
bit.
an official page for it. That's what I was looking for. I kept seeing these forum posts and trading them as fodder.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless.
Peasants who read forums.
Regardless, it's cool because they do have a way that will help drive esports, and I assume we'll get the same for Heroes, considering we are on the same track as them, it seems. That was my really long-winded way of saying that and trying to find visual support. Yay!
Yeah.
Well done, Jake. Good job.
We did it, boys. Well, on that note, I guess we can give our shout outs, and we'll start with you, Bakery. Thanks for spontaneously coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, I saw you guys, just the two of you. I recently released my video, which you can check out on YouTube, in Twitch chat right now, if Heisen is still here. Or obviously at my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/TheNeoBakery. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @BakeryHeroes, which is where most of my content will be. So thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to wear my Kerosene Bakery skin someday. Can't wait. Dunk Train.
Yeah, thanks for Bakery being on, and also thanks to the Blizzard community team for putting on the awesome summit. It was really cool experience. Really appreciate that they went out of their way to get that in the hands of community members, and especially ones more responsible than me, to make content and really just get the word out about this. So thanks for the summit, guys.
Yeah, I got to echo that. Big thank you to Bakery. Big thank you to Blizzard, Lashes, everyone for everything they do, inviting us to these events, treating us like kings, giving us these dope hoodies. Did I show this off? Oh, look at that. Has my name on it on the back.
Yeah, there's a sweet Nexus logo on the back that actually has like a ton of dank memes as part of the Nexus logo. Like 323 is in there, and there's like all sorts of stuff. Like it's actually a really neat compilation of like Blizzard / Heroes memes and stuff in the Nexus logo. It's really nice hoodie.
Nice.
So I hope Dunk explained what it is. Did you?
We just sat here and stared silently at your hoodie the whole time, Jake.
We thought some dead air is exactly what that scene needed.
Excellent.
Really thought the podcast viewers would appreciate hearing Jake stand up, take off his headset, and then silence.
There is no lag if on it, unfortunately, but it's got the 6.5 and the 323. Yeah.
Wait, is there any I am James Baker?
No. Dead meme.
Disappointing.
Rip.
But yeah, no, really, really awesome time out there. Super excited about 2.0. Can't wait to see where it goes. I'm going to be living by this new page we have, the Heroes of the Storm, or it's us.battle.net/heroes/en/heroes20. Probably heroesofthestorm.com/heroes20 would get you there, where you can see the progression and their launch cycle of all the upcoming content, because it honestly, like every other week at the bare minimum, there's something coming out for the next while. New cinematics, apparently, new bundles, new program, new launch event, new event, Nexus Challenge 2.0. I don't even know what half those things mean, but there's so much cool stuff on the horizon for Heroes of the Storm. And, it feels like we just got a new game. The game's called 2.0. It feels like we've got a new game, and I haven't been this excited to just grind games to unlock stuff, and in a long time. So we shall see. We'll be following that closely here on Town Hall. That's going to do it for episode 139. Thanks so much once again, Bakery and Dunk. Thank you to all of our patrons, our viewers, and everyone that supports the show just by watching and being here and spreading the love. We'll see you next time. And GG's.